At the cut.
Welcome to another marvelous episode of College Football Showdown. I am the governor of college football, and with me, as always, is my co-pilot Jalen Wilson. I'm going to say it. This has been the most exciting weekend of college football since probably the 2007 season, which is the GOAT of seasons in the minds of many. Before we get into today's episode, Jalen said something on Saturday that was so profound, and it had me fired the hell up. And I was like, you know what? Instead of taking care of this matter now, well, we could have taken care of the matter. Let's handle it first things first on Monday. So, Jalen, would you mind repeating what you said?
Yeah. So Alabama game was going on, and I was about to say, sorry to cut you off, but I was about to say, could have talked about it last Monday because remember I questioned it.
You did, 100%.
And it was like, I had like a array of matches. I said this is the Alabama team that they really ranked number one. Alabama never really deserved to be number one, and this was like. This is where my Monday discussion was coming from last week. I was like, remember I asked a question. I was like, does Alabama really deserve to be number one? Like, was that like when y'all got quiet or?
Yeah, that's when I got quiet last week. And to your credit, Alabama did lose this week in Vandy. It was an absolute magical.
No, I didn't predict that
event in Nashville. Seeing like that scene, it was very reminiscent of Knoxville 2022, very reminiscent of Boone, North Carolina a few years ago as well. The goddamn goalpost ended up in the Cumberland River. Exciting scene, and we're going to actually talk more about the game in a second. But Alabama was a top 5 team who beat a top 5 team. In the SEC, they beat Georgia. Yes, the second half was awful. I give you that. The first half was amazing. The first half was pure dominance, and of course, we sit here and we wipe that out of our minds because Georgia stormed back. But it's one thing to be up, blow a lead like we seen the Houston Oilers do back in the day, and then not respond. Alabama responded. So in your estimation, you're saying a team that's in the top 5 who beat another top 5 team shouldn't be the number 1 seed. You thought that Texas should have been the number 1 seed last week.
Yeah. This is why I questioned it last week. Because I was like, I thought that second half of the Alabama Georgia game was the real Alabama team that we were going to get more throughout the season than that first half team.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the USF game throughout most of that game. Like I thought that was, that's kind of who Alabama was going to be for this season, rather than that last 9 minutes of that game where they kind of stumped UCF.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Georgia is more so the team that when they play Kentucky than the second half against Alabama.
Okay.
But I feel like when I watched that Texas-Michigan game, and Michigan is not Georgia.
For sure.
Georgia was stomped them.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan can't throw the ball. I'm like, it was pure dominance throughout that whole game. And I was like, they never let up. Like, first quarter, if I'm not mistaken, it was like, okay, it was close. Might have been like 7-0. And I'm talking about the Michigan-Texas game. Second, by halftime, I believe, I don't remember how much Texas was lit up, but they were up 2 scores for sure. I remember Michigan fumbled, and I think Texas scored right after that. And that was before halftime. And I'm like, it was just like Texas just didn't allow them back in the game. Like, and I haven't saw Texas really play down to their opponent this season besides the Mississippi State game, which was not just this previous week, but the past week before this previous week.
All right. And this, SEC game, you figured it'd be that way. I think we just live in a world with college football where there just seems to be a lot more parity across parity across the conferences. Like we look at the Big 12. We talked about the Big 12 last week. Who's going to win the Big 12? We have no clue. Look at the Big 10. In some people's eyes, it's Oregon. Some people's eyes, it's Ohio State. There are some people who believe that Penn State can win the conference. We've seen. I know you don't have much stock and much faith in Michigan, and I know you never really had much
I
faith,
think Illinois beats Michigan.
or
That knocks them out the race.
or much stock in USC. But Minnesota, a team that we didn't think was too good coming into the season, played Michigan really close and actually was able to upset USC. I mean, look at what's going on in the SEC. We saw an Arkansas team. Everybody wanted Sam Pittman fired last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We seen Arkansas play very up and down, and they're honestly a few plays away from being undefeated. If we're being honest about it, like maybe it's just more parity inside of the sport.
Can I like give a rebuttal?
For sure.
Like I don't know if you want to call it rebuttal, but it's parity, but it's still like a difference. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we look at the Big Ten. It's like, okay, Oregon, Ohio State, I feel like are like 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then I feel like
we've also seen games with Oregon where they're like,
yeah, we've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised you didn't say Nebraska. I would say Nebraska over Michigan, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
But that adds to the point. Indiana has looked good.
Yeah, I think Indiana has
Rutgers didn't play well this past weekend. They lost 14-7. But
Indiana would be in the conversation more than Michigan and I think Nebraska. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the one that Indiana or Rutgers has a favorable schedule. And I think it's Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Indiana has a favorable schedule for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, for down the stretch. Illinois has looked good. I'm just saying in the past, like, when the Big Ten had divisions, remember how it was
it wasn't parity because it was like Ohio State dominated.
Right.
You had those years with Penn State, Michigan State made it that year. I remember they went to the college football playoffs. Of course, you had Michigan the last couple of years, but it was like even when Michigan came along, it was like, okay, Michigan or Ohio State, Michigan or Ohio State.
Right.
Everybody else is just, we waiting for Iowa to come out the Big Ten West so y'all can just have no offense in the Big Ten championship game and get beat. So yeah, I can definitely see that. Even the SEC, I guess you could say is more parity, but I still feel like it's a little bit of a difference there. Because I feel like Texas is just the upper echelon right now. Honestly, like,
see,
KT, if I had to week by week, I guess how I feel after the Oklahoma performance and after the Arkansas performance, I'm not crazy high on Tennessee anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think we're both in agreement there.
I'll put Ole Miss over them. I'll put Ole Miss over Alabama.
Ole Miss really impressed me this week. But I mean, like, where do you rank Texas A&M? Because they just beat the crap out of Mizzou. You know what I'm saying?
Did.
Like, so how do we rank Arkansas? We've seen them at points look really, really good. They should have beat Oklahoma State. Who was their other loss?
Arkansas?
Yeah, I can't remember who their other loss was, but it was
Auburn.
They beat Auburn. That was an ugly game. That was a really ugly game. But like we look at the Red River rivalry, right? Like going into that game, Texas is the much better team, but I guarantee it'll be a close game. It's just the state. It's just the state of the conference. It's truly just the state of the conference. It's a sign of the times, bro. Vandy beat Bama. Like, has that sunk in yet? Like, Vandy really just beat Bama. And maybe that adds to your point of, hey, Bama shouldn't have been ranked number one. Would the College Football Playoff Committee have ranked them number one?
They would have. Would I have agreed? No.
No, you wouldn't have agreed.
But yeah, they would have. They most definitely would. Now, would have been a conversation, kind of, but of course, the whole Michigan, the whole point would have been the College Football Playoff Committee would have been like, Michigan is not better than Georgia. Michigan's offense is not good.
It was Texas A&M.
I was Texas A&M. Arkansas lost too.
Yeah. So you start really looking at this conference and you start to say, what happened? Like, the who's who of this conference, the dynamic of this conference has shifted. Like, is Miami going to win the ACC? Because based on what I've seen the last 2 weeks, I don't think so. Crystal ball will crystal ball at some point.
Oh my gosh! I was
At,
surprised.
at some point, bro, ACC refs ain't gonna be able to save them when a lineman is 7 yards down the line of scrimmage.
Oh man, that
They're
bet should
not
be in
gonna be
my
able to
favor right
call
now, not
it.
yours.
Dude, crystal ball will crystal ball. I guarantee. Yo, and the crazy thing is, we sat here last Monday and said, actually, it was on Overreaction Monday. We said, like, yo, watch Miami go to Cal and lose. It's a 10 p.m. game. You're talking about an after midnight finish. Cal was up 25 points and lost, bro. And lost.
I was watching on my phone because I got on the game and I was like, no
Did
way.
you?
Me and Steve are in Discord, like, no way Cal blows this.
Right.
Because we got on and it was 35, like, or 38, like 18 or something like that. I'm like, 11, it's like 11 minutes left. We're like, no way Cal blows this. Start blowing it real quick.
Right.
Real quick.
Yo, but let's get back to this Alabama Vandy game. Like I said, the scene in Nashville was just miraculous. We already talked about, the most deserving, and there's a lot of people, the college football insiders, the college football graphs, they do a good job. I can't think of the Twitter handle name. Parker Fleming, I think is his name. Our guy K4 does a great job. They do these ratings, like the most deserving ratings, and people was going at the JP poll because JP poll was in agreement with you when it came to their rating system.
Is that Josh Pate?
There's Josh Pate. The JP poll had Georgia like ahead of Bama, and I think it had Ohio State rated as they had Ohio State rated as number one.
Was this
was before? Yeah, this was after.
I wouldn't have had the Georgia.
And the internet was on JP poll ahead, but rankings and ratings are two different things. It took me a while to kind of to grasp that concept.
It's I don't know. I see it as rankings still. Like
you see it as rankings.
Like if you can explain the difference, that help. But
you said if I can explain the difference. Yeah. So okay. So a ranking system, I think there's some eye test involved. You feel
ratings are just like numbers?
Yeah. Rating is like you don't go, whatever your metric is, whatever your rubric is, whatever you base it upon, you don't really have a lot of movement week to week. Like you look at, the AP poll. A poll is a polling of people. You feel me? So there's of course there are probably some numbers associated with it, but for most of it's the eye test, and that's why we see the movement that we see with the AP poll versus JP poll or K4 ratings, where a lot of times they don't go against the metric, they don't go against the rubric. So that's pretty much the difference. So Jalen, this Saturday was unprecedented. 4 teams ranked in the top 11 lost to unranked teams this weekend. Vandy defeated Bama 40-35, one of the best scenes in college football, and they were partying in Nashville. Fans rushed the field, goalposts pulled down, and were thrown into the Cumberland River. Jalen, what were your takeaways from this game, and was this the biggest upset in college football history? And I need you to explain this in basketball terms.
No, the biggest upset is still that Michigan Appalachian State game.
You think so?
Yeah. Okay. It has to be. Like, Appalachian State was that FCS team. I think Michigan was like a top 10 team, maybe even top 5 team going into that game. Like, I get Vandy as Vandy. They got the reputation and everything of being always a lower tier SEC team, but I don't know. It's a lot harder I feel like it's a lot harder for FCS team to be a high level Division I team.
I agree. I remember that moment, and that kicked off, for many of us, the most magnetic year of college football. Dino said something really profound, and I want to repeat it. He said, just go to 12 pods and 12 pods of 5, and the winner of each pod is in the playoffs. Screw rankings. I think ideally that would be good, but the SEC and the Big Ten, this alliance that they have, they're making it so that they kind of control the narrative as it pertains to rankings and as it pertains to getting to the college football playoff. They will certainly have first dib. So Jalen believes that the App State game, and I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment because after I watched the game, I said this is the biggest upset I've ever seen in my own two eyes. And I thought about
You
App State at the
only
FC.
I didn't watch the App State game.
Yeah,
I was like
no,
6 or 5.
mm, I watched it. You know what I'm saying? Watch how it happened, but we just seen Alabama beat Georgia last week.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like in a big game, high environment, beat the dog crap out of them. Of course, Georgia stormed back, and then you look at Vandy. Vandy has never had what a top 5 win. Was that the statistics that I saw over the weekend?
They never had a win against number 1 team for sure.
Yeah, I
Because
know
I
that.
remember them kept saying that on the broadcast.
Right. So it's just like you look at this, and maybe I am being a prisoner of the moment, but this one was just magnetic. But I want you to explain this in basketball terms. Is there a basketball term that you can utilize to explain what just happened?
Was there anything like
Maybe the 1983 NC State Wolfpack when they beat five slammer jammer
yeah,
with Hakeem Olajuwon and
I was also
Clyde Drexler.
thinking something like when oh
Boise
well,
State over Oklahoma is the biggest one. You remember that game? That was a damn good game. Hey,
I think
D
that was
now.
07, right? Was that
Yeah,
07?
yeah, I believe so. D now, that was a good pull. That was a really
Um
good pull. But I think that championship game was technically January 2008, but you're right, it was 07. Um,
if we talking
I-
about 07 season, Illinois
yeah,
beat Ohio State that year also.
yeah, that's crazy. That was
We had like a
Juice
not we had a yeah we
Juice
had Juice
Williams, right?
Williams. He had a 9-minute drive to end the game or something like that.
Wow, that
Uh, like basketball terms, I guess it'd be what's that team that beat Purdue number 1 versus number 16? You also had UMBC beat Virginia.
Oh yes, college
Yeah.
basketball terms for sure. Do you have an NBA example of this?
Oh, would it be Dirk losing to the We Believe?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think that was actually 07 as well.
yeah. That was 07. That's crazy, dog. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. But like, what were your takeaways from the game?
Tackling.
Yeah.
Tackling was terrible for Alabama, man.
Mhm.
Tackling, run defense. I mean, I thought it couldn't get any worse watching Illinois versus Penn State. Yeah, shoot, Vanderbilt had their way. Yeah, tackling, run defense. I'm gonna be honest. Alabama receivers are underwhelming. They haven't had that top receiver. I want to say since Devontae Smith. Like, no, since Jameson Williams. My fault. My bad. Since Jameson Williams. They haven't throughout the Saban era, they were like able to it was Julio Jones. They went from Julio Jones to Amari Cooper. They went from Amari Cooper to Calvin Ridley. Can't forget Darius Stewart during that 1 or 2 seasons. Then it went from Calvin Ridley to Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith. Then it went from those 3 to just like Devontae Smith and some of John Mechie. Then it went from Devontae Smith and John Mechie to Jameson Williams and John Mechie. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody as well.
Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle. My fault. Yeah, Jalen Waddle as well. And it's like ever since that Devontae Smith or ever since that Jameson Williams year, where him and John Mechie, if they don't get hurt, they beat Georgia again. It's like they've struggled to get that receiver, and it's like I thought it was gonna be Kobe Prentice when he was a freshman. Same thing with Isaiah Bond, and it was like Isaiah Bond was good. Williams? He's probably next up, but I don't feel like he's good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I freaking love Ryan Williams, but I don't think he's like. I mean, we had the discussion on the phone. Like I said, I'm taking Jeremiah Smith over him.
Okay.
But it's also like I'm looking at it, I'm just like they haven't had like that number 1 wide receiver where it's like, okay, this dude is like crazy good and he's clearly the best receiver like on the field. Like I guess Ryan Williams has kind of been that this season. But
No,
I
I
don't
see
feel
what
like
you're
it's been
saying.
all times.
You feel like
I don't feel
you
like it's
feel
been
like
all times. He's
there's
had
been
key
a
moments though,
there's
like
been
Georgia,
a drop off.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Like I think he
Kid
got one
is
against
17 years
USF.
old.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't feel like he's like that all the time. Like
Wow. I mean, so in
I
your
feel like Marvin
estimation,
Harrison Jr.
his floor is super high, but you don't feel like his ceiling is high.
Oh no,
If
his
I'm here,
ceiling
I
is
don't.
high.
Okay,
His
so
ceiling is high,
I don't want to put words in your mouth. Okay,
and I feel like his floor is high.
okay.
I just don't feel like every snap when they throwing the ball,
Hmm.
like I just don't feel like he's getting open every snap. Like I remember Marvin
Okay.
Harrison Jr. I was just like, even in sophomore year, I was confident that man's going to get open every time.
Hmm.
And Marvin Harrison Jr. was like 19, 20. So, so Ryan Williams is about 2 to 3 years younger.
Okay. I
Yeah,
I I I see where you're getting at. I think Ryan Williams is the real deal.
yeah, I do too.
I will say that. But I agree with you with the drop off over the last few seasons.
Yeah,
Prior to this season, because I think Ryan Williams is better than advertised. Because we heard some people talking about him, but coming to the season, Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, and I'm forgetting somebody.
Kim Coleman was
Uh,
definitely getting a lot of love.
yeah. I mean, but Auburn, Auburn fans will make anybody sound, what I'm saying, amazing. That's not a diss. It's just it is what it is. I think they do a good job
Mhm.
at that. But I want to ask you something. So, how do you feel about, I think there's a huge difference in coaching in Seattle after loss, coaching in Tuscaloosa
Oh, it definitely is.
after a loss. So, what is this week for Kalen DeBoer about to be like?
I've seen some Bama fans accept the loss. Like
Mhm.
they were like, DeBoer, you did nothing. Hey, listen, you aren't like I saw some fans be like, DeBoer, the loss mostly isn't on you. It's a Kane Womack.
Mhm.
It's a DC. It's like, I saw, leave him at Tennessee, leave
Mhm.
him at Nashville. But I feel like his week is kind of like it's not like a lot. I ain't gonna say it's not like a lot of pressure, but it's not a lot of fan hate. I feel
Mhm.
like Kane Womack got a lot of that fan hate. Um, and I feel like I saw some Bama fans just be like, it was bound to happen. Like we're bound to get upset. Like it was like,
I
oh yeah,
I
Nick
will
Saban
I will say
lost to Willem
this,
Monroe. It was like,
and
welcome to the club, buddy.
right, I think what I'm about to say is gonna piss off fans in Columbus, but I think that some of these fans in a deep South, and granted, I consider myself a Northerner. Like if you go to Norman, Oklahoma, or if you go to Tuscaloosa, their football intelligence is high. Intelligence is high, but I feel like their emotional intelligence is even higher. Where fans of Columbus, bro, like their emotional
They're
quotation is so
crybabies.
low, dog. Fire Ryan Day.
They're
Gotta get that
crybabies,
camera.
bro.
Get rid of
KT,
them.
KT.
They're
I saw
so
somebody
emotional,
complain.
bro.
I saw them complain about Will Howard like after
Mm,
last game. They were like,
mm,
Will Howard ain't playing as good as what we thought he was. Will Howard, I was
right.
like, what the hell? I was like, y'all undefeated. Quit
Dude,
complaining, dude. Shut up.
dude. So I feel like the emotional quotation with some of these, like especially in Tuscaloosa, like they're understanding now. They don't want losing to become a norm, but had this been Columbus, and let's say I can't even put this in Big Ten terms, to lose a game to, I mean, Purdue's been bad this year. They weren't bad a few years ago. I can't even put this in Big Ten. Can we put this in Big Ten terms?
Wait. What exactly they're trying to put in Big Ten terms?
Like Ohio State having a loss of this magnitude in Big Ten terms. I'm not sure if you can put it in Big Ten terms, due to parity.
Nah, because Ohio State fans do
Yeah,
after they
Will
lost to
Howard
Purdue.
is overrated.
What'd he say?
Dude, I said Will Howard is overrated. Did now what did
No, it
Joel
wasn't
Klatt?
overrated. It was like he
Uh,
sucked. Like
oh,
they were
that
saying
was just
he's
saying he
not
was
wasn't good.
wow.
They were
That's
saying he
wild.
wasn't good, and something like
I wonder
who
what
you
Joel
think
Klatt
Jeremy Brown?
said
Like
said about Bama. I can't wait to do a reaction tonight. I got and
um I didn't agree with
Get
Joe
on
Clatt's
top.
list. His top 10 list was
What did he say about Bama? Did you catch that? I missed it because you know
No,
I only watch us during the season because I don't want my mind tainted until after my shows are done for the week, and then I will go look at it.
see,
So
I didn't watch his stuff, but I saw his top 10 list last night when we was on the phone. I was like, I was just going through
okay.
Twitter.
D now had the perfect example. He said it's like if Northwestern beat Ohio State. Imagine if Northwestern beat Ohio State, and imagine the Twitter fair, you know what I'm saying, versus these high, emotional quotation, people on, like people who will say, imagine a college football fan, a fanatic being emotionally sound enough to say, hey, it was bound to happen. You look at the laws last week, they can look at that with sound emotional intelligence. Ohio State loses to Northwestern, they're the number one team in the world. They want everybody gone. Team moms got to go. Like everybody must go, bro.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. Depending on how my team looking, I'm the same way.
Whoa,
But
Joe
Illinois
Clatt,
get blown up by 20. Hey, Brad Underwood, buddy.
Joe
You
Clatt
doing?
said something so
What'd he
profound.
say?
He's one of the best in the business, bro. He said that Bama's like the 2017 Oklahoma team. They got to score 45 points per game to win out.
I don't agree with that.
Wow.
I don't agree with that, but I do think
Pete,
they got
Pete Golan ain't the defensive coordinator still in Bama, though. Hey, man.
I don't agree with that, but I don't. But I don't I don't fully disagree, but I don't agree with it.
I think it goes to. I think it helps your point.
Yeah,
I think it helps your point.
But I don't think they gotta like score crazy amount of points.
He said, look at the schedule. We'll take a look at the schedule. LSU should be 7 overall, not Bama.
Who said that? Dina?
No, SC said that, and
okay.
SC, Andy, and Nino are all big on LSU. I saw the South Carolina game. The final score indicated something else, but I saw the game. You know what I'm saying? I saw the USC game. I think Garrett Nussmeier is amazing, but I don't see it. I don't see it with the team. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm big. I mean, I play.
But let me pull up Alabama schedule. Go ahead, Jalen. Let me pull up this Alabama schedule.
Yeah, I mean Alabama schedule rough. I mean, they still got Texas. Yes, they still got Auburn technically. After this game, they might be worried about the Citadel, wherever the hell they play the week before Auburn.
So they got South Carolina, then they play Tennessee. I don't know. That's in Knoxville. They play Mizzou. Mizzou team is going to show up. Then they play LSU, and then they play Ron Mercer, and then they play Oklahoma, and then they play Auburn. And that Iron Bowl is always good, but I don't think every game they'll have to score 45 points. I saw that D now. He said he thinks Nuss comes back and is quarter QB1 in 2025. The buddy can make every throw, bro. He can make all the throws. He truly can make all the throws.
Because I don't who would be the leaders for quarterback 2025 or 2026 or whatever.
Yeah.
Who would be considered like the best quarterbacks 2025?
Arch Manning. Depending on the type
of the Manning Media Cartel. My fault.
Yeah, the Manning Media Cartel. Nico. Nico's a good one. As he said that. How does LSU not move up, but Notre Dame and BYU do on a bye? Because it's the AP poll. You're polling people. It's the AP poll.
Notre Dame and Notre Dame.
Rankings truly don't matter to the college football playoff poll. Manning probably coming out in 2027. How you feel about that? Let's talk about that before we move on to the next segment.
I don't know.
If he have a good enough year, I think he's done.
Yeah, but I also feel like it might depend on what team. Because I mean, Eli didn't go to whatever team. So it depends on what they be like.
They're going strong arm their way, bro. Yeah. you know how to manage it.
They like, man, Buffalo right there. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, shit. Nobody wants to go to Buffalo right now, man.
We talking about Tennessee? I want to go to Tennessee. They can't get no right tackle.
Hey, why are you trolling me and Steve's, bro?
I mean, listen, I saw the office line for the Patriots.
New England, man. God damn. Next up, on Upset Saturday, the Red Hot Tennessee Volunteers were upset in Little Rock 19-14. Jalen, And I warned people that this very up and down Razorback team were better than advertised. Jalen, what were your biggest takeaways?
Wait, can the question be a takeaway?
Absolutely. What is your question?
Is Josh Heupel really the offense guru we say he is?
No, no, you don't know how that works, do you?
No.
When they put up a lot of points, it's Heupel. When they don't put up a lot of points, it's Joy Hassel. that is the way it works. You know what I'm saying? So, I think so. I don't know.
Because I
Arkansas,
watched their offense against Oklahoma. I'm just like,
yeah, but Oklahoma has a stout defense. You
yeah,
know, and because we seen Tulane score a bunch of points on Kansas State, and then
yeah,
Oklahoma was able to shut them down. I think Arkansas was just able to stop the run. I think that's the key, in stopping Tennessee. If you can stop and run, maybe not the right words, but if you can contain a run, I think you'll have some success.
yeah. But I don't know. I watched this offense against two good defenses. I'm like, I don't like it. Like, I really don't like it. And I'm just like, I don't like. Is this offense really as good as I thought it was? And is Josh Heupel really the offensive guru that I think he is? And I really just think I'm like, now I get it's football. You're not gonna put up 40 points every game.
Uh-oh. Nino said he got something to say about this tonight. I can't wait to hear it. And I know he want to spill now, but he gonna wait until the show.
Yeah,
But continue.
I get you're not gonna put up 40 points every game. I guess
Mm,
football. You're gonna have no games where you might score
mm,
21 points,
mm.
20, 24 points. Like you're gonna have a high scoring game every game. Um,
But
but
before
their
they
offense isn't like it isn't like
the well oil, you don't
yeah,
feel like they're at the metric that they should be at
yeah.
this
It's
point in
like
the season.
yeah,
They're not hitting the
it's
strides
like
that they need to hit.
it's
Okay.
like the offense to me could never really find a rhythm against Oklahoma
Mm.
or
I think that's fair. Or Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah.
Mm.
Uh like it was at points where it's like, oh, okay, you drive here, touchdown, my string could get together another one, but it's like like yeah. Another takeaway, I mean, bro, Arkansas is a dang good team.
Mm.
Dang good team. I honestly thought when Taylor Green went out, I'm like, I think this game might be over. And
Mhm.
then
Yeah, I saw the
um
fellas talking about that industry. I said the industry, that injury in the chat.
yeah, I was like, hopefully they can give him a game, but I was like, I don't
Mm,
know. With Taylor Green out, especially because it was like, I think he went out like I want to say like a drive or two before the last drive.
mhm.
Um, yeah, but
So, can I ask you a question?
you know what? I'm confident in Tennessee defense this year. The offense is the
Okay,
question mark.
I think that's fair. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
So we saw the last play of the game, and then you know, internet is undefeated. People were trolling, saying, "Oh, Nico's awareness should be moved down to zero after this game." Now, granted, there's still some play calling from the sidelines. You see it when people decide to go no huddle or turbo, but you still have the opportunity. There's still green dot, and with the green dot, there's some things I feel like that should be said. Like what's it?
Hypo didn't call two times. Hypo had two timeouts with like 35 seconds left, and he didn't
Mm,
call them.
okay.
He called the first one. I think it was 17 seconds. Like it was even
Mm,
after that big play, Nico had that big play,
mm,
a big throw, and
mm,
then boom, 35 seconds left, and they didn't call
mm,
a timeout, and then the clock ran down to like 17 seconds. And call a timeout, you have
mm.
more time.
So you
Doing
place
stuff like
more
that.
you place more the onus on the coaching staff. Like this hat I got on, Sean McDermott gonna go into the press, but it was my fault. Yeah, it's your fault, bro. You suck at situational football, bro. 13 seconds in Kansas City is all I got to say about you, buddy. Your time has come. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional, bro. I'm acting like an Ohio State fan, bro. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't all like because Nico he hasn't looked good against he didn't look crazy great against Oklahoma or Arkansas in my opinion. Like
No. He didn't. But this is
this is first
truly
year start.
it's his first year starting for sure.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the rest of Tennessee's schedule. How do you feel like they'll fare down the stretch? Do you feel like they can get things on the right track?
It depends who they're playing. Do you know the schedule?
I'm about to pull it up. Give me 1 second. So,
Because they play a couple more good defenses. I'm like,
they do. They play Florida next, and I don't think that'll be a pushover. Then they got Bama. They got that third Saturday in October. Then they play Kentucky.
yeah.
They play Mississippi State. They should be able to score points there. And then they play Georgia, UTEP, and then they finish out the season in Vandy, bro.
Yeah, that
Like
schedule was tough.
yeah, that's a rough schedule.
Because I can see them losing to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would get past the Florida and Kentucky game, but it's like the Alabama,
You think so?
Georgia.
Like
Yeah,
the way Kentucky's been able to play defense. You think so?
I think so.
Okay. But we have seen Kentucky get smacked by South Carolina too, but that was
Yeah,
from the offense turning the ball over more than anything.
yeah.
Then
I
I
think
said 2
so.
more losses for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
I would have to agree.
the 2 more losses. You said Alabama, Georgia,
Mhm.
Florida, and
Yeah, I agree
what's
with
the
you
other
now.
team?
Four more is even possible. They play Vandy.
Vandy. Okay.
Yes. So I can definitely see Georgia, Kentucky, Florida, Mississippi State. They'll definitely win that one. They'll definitely win the UTEP game. Um, and I'm not saying Vandy game is a gimme. They just lost to Vandy a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think I don't know. It's real foggy. Like looking
Mhm.
because it's like or real cloudy. It's like you can't see the end for them looking at that schedule. It's like
For sure.
it could be two more losses, or it could be four more. Like D now said, like
Bama, Georgia,
or they
Kentucky
can
are
somehow
ass.
beat
I
Alabama.
like that. I like
Somehow
that.
it could be one more loss. Like
Mhm. Yeah, well, we seen how magical the last time they played in Knoxville for that third Saturday in October, which was back in 2022. Where the goalpost left kneeling. So hopefully it's along those lines. But I'm starting to really like where football is, and it's crazy because me and Nino in the off season had a conversation, and I was telling him like I don't want that thought of college football. Like when you think about all North American team sports,
mhm.
the window of winning in college football is so small, and I didn't want that to leave, as we explained, to 12 and
I think
14
it's
teams.
still small because I think we're figuring out what teams
Mm,
would be. You would be like, okay, I'm not even surprised if
mhm.
they lost in the first round of the college football
Yeah.
playoffs, or I'm not
Yeah.
surprised if they lost and didn't get into the college football playoffs.
You remember in the off season we were having conversations. I was like, "Yo, we probably going to see a few 9-3 teams make the playoff." Like, do you think that's still possible now? Like,
Who are the top 12 teams right now?
top 12 are
I believe most of them got
Texas, Ohio
lost. Like
State, Oregon, Penn State, Georgia,
undefeated,
Miami, Bama,
undefeated.
Tennessee, Ole Miss, Clemson, Iowa State. Yeah, Notre Dame been 11 in this joke. Um, yeah, LSU. Um, yeah. So
We might see a 3-loss team. I don't know about
yeah,
a couple.
you don't know about a
It's
couple.
gonna be tough.
Yeah, I think we'll get two. I
Because
think
some
we'll
of those
get two
teams play
nine and
each
three
other.
teams.
So
Yeah, and then you got to think about the conference championship as
yeah,
well. So I think we'll get a couple 9-3 teams. But yeah, Nino has said something so profound. He was like, I think it increases the level of the sport. And then he had said another thing before the season started. He's like, I think this is going to be the most off chalk season we've seen in a very long time. And so far, this season has been magical, bro. It's been a really good season. We've had a lot of storylines to talk about. There's been some weeks that I really like. This is a week that I wish I could talk college football every day. Like I really wish I could. But what we got going on. We got an announcement to make in 2 days. But damn, bro, it's been a really good season. Let's get into this next game. Washington defeats Michigan 27-17. Now I know you probably at this point feel like I'm part of the Michigan cartel. I know you're like, why are we talking about Michigan?
hey, them dudes cost Illinois a freaking college game day spot.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sure you're not happy with the performance. I know you were rooting for Michigan and hope that college game day will
Yeah,
make it out to
Michigan got a freaking
champion.
bye week this weekend. All we gotta do is beat
Yeah,
Purdue, and it's like boom,
right,
right there.
right. Y'all should smack Purdue. How you fire your offensive coordinator then proceed to put up 6 points, bro? Fire my guy Graham Harrell. I'm a huge Graham Harrell fan. Oh, by the way, uh, but hey, it's casualties of a dice game, I guess. So, what were your takeaways from this game? Where does Washington fit in your estimation? Do you feel like they're on schedule right now? We always talk about in our previews. We always talk about what's the current temperature. What do you feel like the true current temperature is? And then, do you think Michigan has found some success with Van Wilder at quarterback now?
Honestly, I feel like the temperature is pretty good in
Mm-hmm.
for Washington because
Mm-hmm.
I look at you look at all them pieces that they lost last season,
Mm-hmm.
um, and or look at all them pieces that they lost from last season, like Roma Dunze, Michael Penix,
Mm-hmm.
McMillan, Hulk. Um, they lost a couple pieces in the portal, like Jabbar Muhammad. They lost their running back, lost their head coach, of course, lost their OC, but they look like a pretty good football team this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just every time I watched them, I was like, I feel like the temperature is pretty good, and then you got this win
Mm-hmm.
against Michigan. I'm like, okay. Um, and what's your question about Michigan?
Um, Jack Tuttle. Do you think he could be the guy? Like what are they going to do at quarterback? Because they're you know they're on two right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of my takeaways for Michigan was
Mm-hmm.
we might have to see Jane Davis a little earlier
Yeah, and I think D Now has said that. Yeah, D Now said that last week that he think it may be time to go ahead and let Jalen Davis do his
because
thing.
Tuttle even I mean, well, he
Mhm.
had like I feel like, how many they had like
He
98
only yeah he only yeah
something like that like
he only had 98
yeah
yards.
one
Yeah,
touchdown, one
one
interception for
touchdown.
sure
Yeah.
like because I rewatched that game and I was
Mhm.
like oh okay yeah
I
like
said hell no. He said Jaden Davis. Yeah,
yeah
it might be Jaden Davis season.
honestly and I get why you wouldn't because it's like oh true freshman but you still got the season to lose it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
you should still trying to make a bowl game but at the same time it's like
yeah. I mean, even with that loss, they still have an opportunity. It sounds crazy,
they don't
but they oh
KT don't say it.
they've been mathematically eliminated, huh, man?
You talking about Big Ten tournament? I mean Big Ten
Yeah.
championship game.
Nah, they still get that. It's Michigan, bro. If they win out, they have a chance.
KT, come on, man. You took.
It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening 100%. But I'm just saying that's just where we're at
I
in
think
the
Illinois
sport
beats
right
them.
now.
Oh man, I think Illinois beats them.
You
But
guys play on the 19th in Champaign. You
yeah,
going to the game?
no, I'm going to the Purdue game. We were trying to get tickets to go to the Michigan game, but it's a
Prices
little
was
pricey.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially y'all looking good too. Y'all playing Purdue after a bye week, right?
yeah.
Oh, y'all
And
about to beat up. Y'all about to beat the breaks off of Purdue, dog.
I
Like that's
hope.
just,
I really hope. Um, I really hope. But
yeah. Orgy should. I don't ever want to say somebody should change positions. Uh,
it's
That's
fun. I've been thinking some quarterbacks should do that. Honestly,
yeah, yeah.
honestly, when Luke Amar was playing bad last year, I was like, bro, Luke Amar should be our running back because he looked good. He was running the ball really good. I was like, Luke
Michigan
Amar should be our
has
running back.
Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana. Yikes.
You see what Purdue has? Purdue might have a. Purdue has. I think Purdue has Illinois.
Mhm.
Like, Purdue has like Illinois, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana. They might have Rutgers also or something
And how
like that.
many
Like,
games have they won this year?
what one? First game of the season, right? Or second game of the season?
Yo, that's bad, bro.
Yeah, Ryan Walters' job it might be done.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I also urge you. I feel like just change positions or
Mhm.
go somewhere that run predominantly with the quarterback.
Mhm.
Go Nevada, boom.
You found it. You solved the mystery. 30-14, we're calling it quarterback draw. We got an offense for you, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Hey man,
Oh
that's wild. Speaking of which, SMU, they're really hitting their strides. You said it over the weekend that Kevin Jennings is definitely the guy for them now. I still hate the way Rattlesly handled that, but
yeah, I get it because it's like you would have gave more opportunity to a kid if
Mhm.
or to one of these quarterbacks if you would have just said the starter and allowed
Right.
them to transfer.
Army or Navy will take him.
I was thinking them, but I was like, nobody transfers into Army or Navy,
Right,
right?
right.
So,
Nah, not at all.
uh, um,
Yeah. RJ Maryland is cold. Yeah, I had a
yeah,
chance to talk to him at ACC Media Days.
yeah, I was,
This past
yeah,
year.
yeah, I saw him play, and I was like, okay, he looked good.
Hmm.
And, I mean, I remember watching the first game against Nevada. He looked really good against Nevada. He showed up big, I think, in that fourth quarter.
He sure
Uh,
did.
yeah, I was like, okay, like I get why you'd be mad. At the same time, I guess if we want to play a devil's advocate for
Right, Lashley. Hmm.
yeah, you could be like, well, they both play good, but it's
Hmm.
like Preston Stone got hurt. It wasn't like he played bad and got benched.
Right.
Like when he got hurt, Kevin Jennings came in and played good, and it's like I don't know who should be the starter.
Yeah.
Maybe and maybe seriously, uh,
Mhm.
Jennings or Stone didn't separate themselves in the practices, or in the spring or fall camp.
Right.
Um,
It's definitely Jennings' team now. Has Preston Stone
I don't
en-
think so.
entered the portal? He hasn't.
I've been seeing lots of people with the portal. Like I saw Jaheim Aldis hit the portal
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah. We're actually having a discussion piece on overreaction tonight. We're going to be talking about the portal and how things are kind of getting out of hand. So, as the world turns on upset Saturday, um, we already talked about Maryland, but I'm sorry, we already talked about Michigan and Washington. Jalen, I feel like there was a game that got completely swept under the rug with USC losing to Minnesota,
They
and
did. They did. Especially because
you
that Tennessee, the
right,
Tennessee
right,
right
right. It was
there,
it
right
was
there.
just so many upsets. You just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But this past off season, Boomer, Nino, and you were very critical of Lincoln Riley.
And Nick Saban, I might know more ball than you, buddy.
Yeah, get him.
No,
But so is this what you were afraid of? Because my whole thing with USC coming to the Big Ten is, can they win ugly games? And I think they've shown that they can grit it out, but they
they
do have
can.
some they do have some losses that
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So where are you at with USC right now, and also uh, Lincoln Riley? Like, what do you expect from him in the future?
Where I'm at right now, I'm actually, I'm actually, I'm actually more shocked. Like I think they look better than what I expected.
For sure. I don't think any
Yeah.
of us had extremely high expectations. Just coming from where they was coming from to
Yeah.
here.
But it's like, okay, I'm not surprised they have two losses. But my
Mhm.
whole concern was, winning ugly games, but also just playing defense in general. I feel like they've played some. I mean, I feel like this has been one of the better defenses in Lincoln Riley's coaching
Oh
tenure,
yeah, for sure.
even Oklahoma included.
Mhm.
Like I,
Are you?
they're farther than what I expected. Like they're
Mhm.
farther ahead than what I expected, honestly.
How do you feel about the utilization of their weapons? Like, what's going on with Branch?
Yeah, I don't know. I remember me and Steve was having this discussion. I
Mhm.
was like, he kind of had it under, like he kind of had like the first like week or two was like really good
Mhm.
last year.
He
San
did.
Jose State was like really
Yeah.
good, and I think week two he had like an okay week.
Mhm.
That's I feel like he was like quiet, and I was like, I think he had like 400 yards last year, and I'm like, okay, for true freshman, that's not bad,
Mhm.
um, somewhat. But yeah, this year, it's like he's been quiet again. I'm not surprised. I mean, he went quiet last year. I was like I'm not really surprised. I don't know how they can utilize him better. You would expect Lincoln Riley, the offensive guru, to utilize him better, but they just haven't. I mean, maybe he hasn't separated himself in like practice or anything, and
Mhm.
that's shown in the game. So, I mean, it could just be one of those cases where a guy got overrated and win the game in the rankings.
USC is soft. they they get pushed in the mouth and go run to mommy. You know what's interesting? I was a huge Mario Williams guy.
Hmm.
At Oklahoma, he didn't really display much, but he showed flashes. Same thing at SoCal, during his stay at USC, and he's actually having a pretty decent year for Tulane now. I think got like 23 catches, 2 touchdowns, averaging 18 yards per catch. Uh, I'm starting to get those feelings, and I know like Branch is so electrifying. He's a speedster. He's great in open space. Why haven't they been able to utilize him more? Is this, because what I've heard you, Boomer, and say about Lincoln Riley is that he's not this, offensive guru that everybody thinks that he is, and
Can,
it's starting to show.
can I also be honest?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes these guys just don't work. Like they do work
Mm-hmm.
out in college football, but sometimes they just don't work out in football. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's those guys that you get. Like maybe he isn't this extraordinary guy getting separation, route
Mm-hmm.
running. Maybe he lacks in certain
Mm-hmm.
aspects of a wide receiver, and it's like, and maybe it's like getting him out of space is okay, but it's like maybe he can't do anything after that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I just look at him like, yeah, Lincoln Riley, I feel like is a big culprit, but I also feel like it might just be Zachariah Branch's talent.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has lots of potential. Maybe he's just
For sure.
he's
There,
like a
is
literally
there a
boomer
system
bust.
you would like to see him in if you were to enter the portal? Is there, you think there's a team that would probably utilize him a little bit better than he's being utilized in USC?
I mean, with the way they don't throw it down the field, sometime Oregon wouldn't be bad, I guess.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure. Like I will always advocate, go to like one of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to like a Louisville, SMU, that'd be cool. Go to one of these teams that's not like an upper echelon team. Like I say Louisville, even though Louisville,
Mm-hmm.
well, I guess they suffered back losses, and I think they out of the top 25 now. But and I've always advocate, if you go to a group of 5 team, go there and ball out, get drafted. So
Moon posted a comment. He said, "What's good?" He said, "Hey Jalen, I saw the final score for Vandy versus Bama, and I immediately thought about you. Give me one word to describe the SEC after week 6."
Texas.
Wow. Wow.
The SEC's is Texas.
Wow. SEC. So you're buying all the stock in the Longhorns, huh?
Yeah.
I can't comment on it because I'm deemed as a Texas hater. You feel me? So I'm gonna just say,
it's cool. You're part of Man Media cartel.
We shall see. We truly shall see. So let's talk about this AP poll before we get out of here. Any surprises here for you?
Freaking Michigan, bro. They were just waiting to drop them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the balls to just drop them one because they had one loss or like Michigan had one loss, but they undefeated.
No, they lost to Texas.
That's right. Yeah.
They should have.
Jalen.
They could have lost to Minnesota.
They should have lost to Minnesota.
Yeah.
They were just waiting to drop. They didn't have the balls to just drop them, even though they were winning. They knew their offense was trash, and they were just like, "We just gotta wait till they lose. We're gonna drop them 14 spots." KT, I don't think I ever see a team drop 14 spots ever.
Yeah,
go from number 10 to 24. Goodness gracious.
That's it's crazy. Some of this don't make sense.
Notre Dame, I know you don't agree. You don't agree with it.
Yeah, Notre Dame at 11. Utah at 16. Utah at 16th best team in the country. No.
Well, let me look at top 25 exactly.
Missouri got hands and feet placed upon now.
Missouri still top 25? Yeah, they are. How is Missouri above Illinois? What is this?
Yeah, and my beef with Missouri is they should have lost to Boston College. I know they won. They should have lost to Boston College, and then wasn't Vandy?
OT. Yeah, Vandy should have. They should have been like
Vandy
overtime or
all they
win
can
or
handle
like
too. So it's like, we look at Missouri. We looked at their schedule coming into the season at the 29th toughest schedule in a country, which is the easiest schedule in the SEC. You you're thinking, hey, maybe the stars are aligning for Eli Drinkowitz and the Missouri Tigers. But the way that it wasn't that they lost in College Station, it was the way that they lost. And I don't want to hear shit else about Missouri. And I was on the bandwagon for part of the time. But I like after that Boston College game, seeing that game, knowing that they should have lost that game, really, I started feeling ill
I
about
mean, I was more iffy on Missouri, so I'm not really
Uh-huh.
surprised. Now, I was
No,
surprised by
you
that
weren't. You weren't.
score,
You weren't.
but
Yeah.
like I was surprised by that score. That score was ugly, but I'm not surprised that they lost and that they're kind of struggling.
Where you at with BYU? I feel like I'm asking you this every week. Where are you at with BYU, bro?
I like BYU.
Okay.
I'm not mad at them being the second highest rated team in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
We've had this discussion about.
Hey, D, now you know I didn't mention that intentionally. We're gonna say that. Let them wait for 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna handle that. I'm not gonna mention it here. I'll tell you why after this episode. BYU is one of your favorites. They play defense. KT, you feel like Missouri had the low hanging fruit expectation and they've been underwhelming. Absolutely.
Honestly, I can see BYU over Notre Dame. I honestly put them over Notre Dame. I don't trust.
You know where I
know
stand
it's
with
waiting
Notre
to
Dame.
happen. Like because Notre Dame, big media, big brand.
And it's crazy that me and you have a bet on Miami, bro. But I'm so unhappy with them right now. It's not their fault, young, because everybody wants the U to be the U.
I don't even care about the bet. It's the simple fact that they should have really 2 losses right now,
bruh. And I
don't care about the bet. They had 2 losses. It's the rest.
If they called that catch in the Virginia Tech game incomplete on the field, I'm completely.
Yes, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with
my Miami winning that game. But the fact that you called it a catch on the field and you saw so much, man, Jim Phillips must have radioed it like there ain't no goddamn catch, bruh. And then did you see the picture of the lineman? Yeah, and I know you talked about the pivotal penalty, bro.
The targeting.
But yeah,
it should have been targeted. He launched the dude. Like I get it. He's not. Mendoza wasn't a defensive player.
I watched Miami totally for Irvin on the sideline. That's Mr. Pink Toes himself. That's Mr. Pink Toes himself.
Like I get it. Cal quarterback Mendoza wasn't a defensive player,
right?
But the Miami player still launched himself crown first into the helmet. Like it was. Like he still boom, like he threw a headbutt.
Hey, bro, how you doing pass pro in the end zone? Buddy was in the end zone, bro, doing pass pro. Yeah. D-Down said 100% targeting. Yeah, I mean, if I'm just saying, man, Miami, like I said, I really like Cam Ward.
I don't know the catch is. I don't know the tackle lead.
Yeah, I don't know the catch.
ACC refs.
Right. That's the ACC, bro. I'm telling you, Jeff Phillips is phoning in, bro. From the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. Old Phillips is phoning in. I'm telling you. But like, and it's crazy because neither one of us are huge fans of Crystal Ball. Now, I bought a lot of stock of Miami, and then Crystal Ball had to like try to give me the fake Derrick Henry stuff on at the ACC Media Days. Hey, bro, wait till next year, bro. I'm telling you, I'm coming in hot like Buddy did.
That's what we talking about with Crystal Ball. They losing games they're not supposed to, even though they freaking won.
Dude, I'm telling you, Crystal Ball, bro. I'm trying to tell you, like, and this was the game. Like, I felt like, I forgot who it was. Somebody's like, it won't be Miami, it'll be the game after that. So whoever Miami play next, but it's just like.
Do you think Miami would drop down like Michigan do if they lose? Like, let's say Miami lose next week. Do you think they drop like? Maybe not 14 spots. Do you think they drop to where, let's say, Iowa State is? Yeah, be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Who they play next week? Is it Louisville who they play next week?
I think it is Louisville. I think they might have a bye this week or something like that, but yeah, I think it's Louisville.
I forgot to put Hurricanes. I forgot there's another Miami and South Florida, the Dolphins. But screw them.
Nobody care about them.
Yeah. I think we both are equal schedule. So they got They done gave me the men's basketball schedule.
Hey,
Diabolical.
hey, they did make it to the Final Four in 2022.
All right, so they got they at Louisville, and then they gonna smack Florida State, and then they play Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. Hey, bruh. Hey, bruh. That Louisville game gonna mean a lot, bruh. Cause I'm telling they might not lose, one after that, bruh. Did you hear that schedule?
Yeah.
At Louisville, home against Florida State, home against Duke. They do gotta go to Tech at Georgia Tech. Home against Wake Forest at Syracuse. They may not lose. If Louisville, if they don't lose to Louisville, they may win out. It's very possible.
I'm gonna be honest. I wish Illinois played Indiana this season. I think we'd beat Indiana.
You think y'all beating Indiana?
Yeah.
Where at? Where at?
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
You don't think it neutral site? It can be in Indiana. You guys are handling business with Indiana.
Yeah.
So how you feel about Indiana being the 18th best team in the country?
You know, I'm not mad at the teams they put behind them. Really. Maybe Kansas State, but I can see why Oklahoma might be behind them. I can definitely see why Mizzou is behind them.
He said, "Y'all not beating Indiana. Stop smoking."
Who said that? So sorry. We beat Indiana.
Right.
We also beat Iowa, by the way. Also,
Kevin Jennings made me very happy this weekend.
I can see why they above Michigan.
Should Michigan even be in the top 25?
I don't think so. But hey, let's say we Illinois jump up to like 19, and after this beat Purdue, you know. It won't be like you. Hey, we gave College Game Day to Cal on some bogus stuff. You know, let's give College Game Day a game. Because at least be two ranked teams.
Who's College Game Day? Where they going this week? Have you seen?
They're probably going to Autzen, right?
But yeah, that's it. That's it.
The problem is that it's a Fox game. It's a Big Ten. You know, Big Ten it's CBS and Fox now. It's not. You know, so they're more prone to go to those ABC, ESPN games because they're ESPN, of course.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to Oregon.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, should Georgia be above Alabama?
Yeah. You lose to an unranked team.
You know, F it. Georgia should be above Penn State.
Listen, man, me and you, man, I think we're on the same page with Penn State, bro. Like, I don't believe you. You need more people. I just don't believe. I don't believe the hype. Y'all can call me a Nittany Lion hater.
I'm putting Ole Miss above
Texas Longhorn hater. You said that again? Say that again?
Putting Ole Miss above Tennessee.
Ole Miss getting some respect around these parts. See that? That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking.
It's Pete Golden who wants the skeptical on.
Okay, I'm happy to see that.
Yeah.
Where are you at with Clemson? Because I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And I gotta admit it. My boy Nino called this before the season. My stock in Clemson is gone up. It's gone up an awful lot, bro.
It has gone up for me.
Yeah, they've been quite impressive. I think they'll win the ACC. Yeah, I think Clemson will win the ACC. Maybe not regular season, but I think they'll win the conference championship. Clemson looking like the favorite. Yeah. My stock in Clemson is going up. Dabo Swinney, you MF for you. And Dabo, we trust. I hear you, man. Moon, who's a seasoned credential member at Clemson, certainly in Dabo, you trust. Anything else about this top 25 that stands out? I think in comparison to recent memory, now there are a group of schools that have been left out of this.
I saw Duke say they should have got like consideration, stuff like that. Like
even after the loss.
Yeah,
I think they deserve some consideration, but we don't have a service academy team in the top 25. Both undefeated. Even though it's 3 of them, but Army and Navy are both undefeated.
I'm not surprised. I mean, you know, the AP top 25 voters don't like certain teams. Illinois, Army, Navy, Air Force. I don't know any more teams.
Yeah, that's crazy though. None of the service academy teams have made it in here. Jalen, anything else you want to add before we close out this episode?
I don't think so. I mean, this is a good week of college football. Really great, actually great week of college football. I mean, this is why we
Yeah,
love college football, right?
yeah, for sure. Like I found myself, of course, my Bills lost, so yeah, I don't want to watch any more football
Woohoo.
after that. But I found myself bored on Sundays, bro. Like it's like it just it will never compare to football on Saturdays. It just won't. Like what we seen this past weekend. Like I don't think we can truly like quantize how good of a week this was. I don't think we can say it in words. Like I really don't. So what are your expectations for week 7? I know we're going to discuss. Actually, I'm not. I'm not sure about Thursday's episode, bro. Because we're gonna be where we're gonna be at. Where
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah. I know where
announcing
you're
this
going to
yet.
be.
Yeah, and then we coming back, and then we're credentialed for JMU
Mhm.
that night. So we should get back at a decent time. So I should be able to do the show after we go where we're going for a couple days, and we come back. I think Moon may be headed up here. So if he heads up here, he'll actually be going to the JMU game. We can still do the show because I want to do another preview show. I know Brad was so upset we didn't do a preview show this week. Shout out to my guy Brad too. He's been killing it. Um, so yeah, we're planning on doing a preview show still on Thursday. But any predictions, man, for week 7 that we're not going to talk about on
Illinois beats Purdue.
Thursday? Oh yeah.
Um, I'm actually trying to get on TV that game too. I don't
Are
know if I'm
you
gonna be able to do.
you you gonna make
I'm
you
gonna
gonna make a
try.
sign?
Huh?
You gonna make a sign? How you gonna what you gonna do to get on TV?
Oh, and I'm gonna be like stomping on the stands, chanting IOL or something like that. Be running up and down like the Ultimate Warrior or something.
Hey,
Um,
that's funny, dog.
uh,
That is hilarious, man. You remember
like
that
Ohio
Ultimate
State over
Warrior
Oregon.
7 seconds, 7 second fight? Ohio State over Oregon.
Yeah. You said who said the second fight?
You ever seen the Ultimate Warrior like 7 seconds? It might have been a little.
Yeah, like dude,
Yeah,
like come in the ring, slam
yeah.
on that,
I just
pin
like,
him.
that man, hey man, what my guy say? Cocaine is a hell of a drug. My man, that man was running like Forrest Gump, dog. Right down that joint and did him dirty, man.
And yeah, I think I see more talk about like college football wise.
Colorado off of Kansas State, and we'll be up late watching Coach Brown Prime B501. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. While Kansas State is our pick to win a Big 12, I would love that for Colorado.
I
Even
thought
though,
Colorado not ranked.
nah, they they don't want them dudes ranked. I bet you a lot of people are banking on Kansas State beating the heck out of them. But yeah, that's a late game. I'll certainly be up late for that. I don't care if I gotta work on Sunday. Yeah, I'll certainly be up late for that.
Yeah. Good week of college football.
Mm-hmm.
Good week of sports.
You just dropped a new video. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, 29 players went to back from home. So many players suck. I mean, 29 quarterbacks. So many quarterbacks sucked.
How hard
Holy
was it getting
Lord.
intel on some of these guys?
Bro, I'm talking about I couldn't
Who,
find
who was
specific
the
people.
who was the and without spoiling anything, who was the wildest name out of the list? A name that like a lot of people probably wouldn't be familiar with.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot
The
actually.
fact that Kyle Allen was the number 1 ranked quarterback in that class
Like that Real
is,
Greer was number 3.
hey bro, that needs to be studied, bro. Like 100% needs to be studied, bro.
I remember the hype for Kyle Allen now. See, I said during the video, I was like, this dude named Morgan Mahalik or something like that was like might have been the biggest bust. Like he went to Oregon, didn't record a staff for 2 years, then he transferred to somewhere, and then he transferred to Townsend. And if I'm not mistaken, it was kind of there. Yeah, it was a couple players that like went to school, redshirted. Then it was like, oh, we're going to Butler Community College, and then we're going to D2 or FCS, and it's like, oh, okay. Some of the stats was hard to find, but I was able to find some. Some of what they did was hard to find, but I'm just like, yeah, like dang, like I could like look at him like, was it? Damn, 29 of these players are really Barry Patrick, like I could see, what real Greer, Kyle Allen, Deshaun Watson, even Deshaun Kaiser, because he was my guy at Notre Dame. But
what do you think? Sometimes athletes who like 3-sport athletes, sometimes you think they might hurt them in
I
the
feel like
ranking
that helps
process.
them.
You
Honestly,
feel like it helps him?
I
Okay,
like
he
multi-sport
played baseball
athletes.
and he
He played
hooped, right?
basketball. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He was like all
Speaking of
county or all state or
hoops,
something like that. Yeah, I feel like it helps them. I like
yeah.
players that play multiple sports. Did you see Zay
Okay.
Flowers was hooping against like the Thompson twins and like Vernon who was it? Vernon
Nah,
Carey and
nah, I
Scotty
didn't.
Barnes and
I
stuff.
didn't see that. Was he a bucket?
Yeah. I mean, he got like one bucket and a rebound.
Does he play like a football player?
I guess yeah. He was fast. I mean,
Yeah,
he was on a team with Scotty Barnes.
hey, you ever like up at your school played against football players, bro?
Bro, this dude named Malik. I played against him. High school, like freshman year. He was big too. Dude, he played defensive line. That man physical as heck on defense on basketball. I'm like,
Hey,
bro, over there
they
pushing me and
like
stuff.
they like Joe Dumars, bro. Circuit like 19. Yeah, they gonna hustle. They gonna get you rebounds. They gonna
They
get
can't
you extra
freaking
opportunity. They can't shoot. They be looking short. They be looking like Desmond Bain when they shoot.
The T-Rex arms huge.
Hey, Mo. You know, I feel 100% solid about Ole Miss, bro. We will not waver. I promise you. But yeah, bro, yeah, playing football players, bro, especially like I was always like what I'm saying, quick as a hiccup, yeah, and I could get if wherever I want to go, I could get to my spots. But the football players, like, God damn, you got to bring the goddamn tackle with you at the to the basketball game, man. That's crazy. But what teams you like, man? This upcoming college basketball season. Why we on the topic of hoops?
I'm not a big fan of Duke because they got weak guard play. I think.
How you feel about
I like Caleb Foster though.
How you feel about North Carolina with Elliot Cadeau and RJ Davis?
I like North Carolina. Problem is they're bringing Seth Trimble off the bench at point guard. He can't shoot either, and it's like, okay, you're subbing in a point guard that can't, or subbing out a point guard that can't shoot for a point guard that also can't shoot that subbing in. I like my backup point PG to at least shoot a little bit, but
you feel like Kansas has one of the best starting fives in all of
Kansas, yeah. Kansas, I feel like Michigan is a dark horse to win the Big Ten, but that's just me.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like they got one of the best front courts. Trying to think. Florida is a sneaky team. Florida got some pieces, bro.
How was that kid doing that played with Florida? I had the ailment. I believe he passed out.
You talking about Keyshawn Johnson? He played on Kansas. He would transfer to Kansas State. He played with Marquise Noel. They made it to Elite 8, and he got drafted by the Thunder.
Good for him. Good for him. That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
So you think Florida's a sneaky team, and then what would you say is the best conference in college basketball?
Oh, Big 12.
Big 12.
Big 12. Yeah. Iowa State, Cincinnati. I feel like gonna be good. Shout out to Jizzle James, Adrian's son.
That's crazy. How tall is he? Do you got some height on it? What's that head? Decent height.
I feel like he's about like
6 feet. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Baylor, I feel like they're gonna be solid this year. Kansas, of course.
Baylor's been stable for a while.
Yeah, Virginia, y'all always. Well, I guess y'all ACC, but y'all always frauds.
Yeah.
Them dudes scored like 40 points last year in a play-in tournament game. Oh my goodness, that thing was terrible. They were stuck at like 16 for me. If I'm not mistaken. They were terrible.
So when do you expect the rankings to come out? When do you expect the KenPom ratings and all of that stuff to get going?
The rankings gonna come out probably.
Because I think November 4th is when the season officially kicks off. We got a bunch of tournaments, and we're talking basketball, and we've been talking college basketball a little bit more. You just take that nugget for what it's worth, but we do got a huge announcement coming in a couple of days.
Yeah, I don't know when the rankings exactly come out. I feel like Kansas is gonna be at 1, Alabama gonna be at 2, UConn at 3. UNC probably at 4, Duke probably around like that 5 to 7 range.
Duke is always overrated, and I'm a Duke fan, and I can say that. You know what I'm saying?
Don't know where they're gonna have Kentucky. Don't know where they're gonna have Arkansas. Illinois, I can see them not putting in the top 25 to start out the season. Yeah, Iowa State, I feel like should be a top 5 team. They're returning a lot from their team from last season. Made it to the Sweet 16.
Returned a lot of production in both football and basketball. That's diabolical.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely gonna be interesting. I feel like Oregon is a sleeper team. Yeah, ACC though, like I'm trying to think of ACC teams that could be like, of course, Duke, North Carolina. Yeah, those teams straight.
I know NC State got a facelift. They lost a lot of production.
Yeah, they did. I know Syracuse has gained some production. I don't know how I feel about Syracuse.
I know. I'm about to say, I know you're not the biggest fan there.
Yeah, ACC teams. What's some other?
How you feel about Wake Forest? I know they won above.
Oh yeah, Wake Forest. I feel like they're going to do good. Texas A&M. Watch out for them.
Okay, it's a lot of teams to watch out for.
If I'm not mistaken, they return like 83% of their scoring.
That is amazing. That's amazing. Well, Jalen, it's been an amazing show, man. Make sure you guys check us out on all of our platforms. Check out the description, if you want to follow us on anything else. But don't touch that dial. We'll be live in about 30 minutes for Overreaction Monday. As I always like to say, there are no more victories in a sport that survive in advance. That's why college football is the greatest regular season. And until next time, y'all take care. One.